Hi, my name is Rose. This is my first ever YouTube video, so I'm a bit nervous and giggly. Actually, the first run at it, I did it off my phone because I had all of this anxiety about talking to a camera. So I tried to do it from my phone. And of course, the phone, I could see myself talking to myself. And as I looked into the picture, I started feeling all of this self-judgment. It was overwhelming. It was so overwhelming, and I was so triggered that I erased the video. It would have been completely hilarious if I had saved it. But I just have to tell you about it now. Anyway, that is part of the reason why I'm doing this video, and hopefully many others after this, is I have embarked on what I'm calling a self-love project. So over the years, I have been what I call increasing my consciousness, and over the past few years it had escalated tremendously. So what's been happening is I've been learning how to bring emotional triggers to the surface and transmute them. I believe some people call that alchemy. And so by transmuting the core root of why I was having the emotional trigger, I was able to have a more peaceful state within my being. So in situations that were similar to those that would trigger me in the past, I may still be triggered, but it would be nothing like it was before. And I would understand where it was coming from. So then over time, the triggers just completely go away. Now, it is very infrequent for me to have a trigger these days. So when I went to go and work on this video project, I was like, wow, I certainly found what we call orphans. So in working with these aspects of ourself, you can call them the small child inside or the orphan inside, it gets very interesting. When I first started embarking on this type of work, I can tell you, I just wasn't so sure about it. You know, when something's brought to your awareness at first and you're like, what? Okay, I'll just kind of go with the flow and watch everybody else and see if this really resonates. Because at first it didn't, because I didn't understand it. But what got my attention was I had gotten a cough that would not go away. And when it was brought to my awareness that the cough was related to not expressing grief, I knew exactly what it was. I knew exactly where it was coming from. So that really is what got me interested in diving into the fragments of our emotional body. So there are many different ways of doing this that are out there. There are many healing services out there. I use what's called soul integration work that is taught by the Theo group. And once I went through this program, I also went through and became certified as a facilitator. So after I went through the facilitation workshop to become certified was really when it deepened the most. And that was because I did this work for 6 months. So for 6 months, every week I was working on myself and really diving in. And it was hard work. It was not easy. But it really helped me to clear out more of the stuff that was the underlining of why I have not been doing any public speaking, or why I would never step up and tell somebody what I really thought, why I had trouble holding boundaries. So that's one of the reasons why I decided to start on this project, was because I've learned so much And I think that sharing my experiences about how I went through these types of processes and how I apply it to the real world. We have so much going on around the world right now, and so many people are afraid. They walk around in fear, and that just creates more fear for them in their life. So I live my days each day from this place of peace. I have found so much peace inside of me and connected to a part of me that I didn't even know existed. So I can tell you that I'm sure that I will have triggers that will still come up, but they don't rule my life anymore. I notice them and I can release them within minutes. And that's what I hope, that by sharing my experiences with others, that they will be able to release some of these emotional triggers that they're experiencing. And as we release these triggers, it allows us to tap in to this higher consciousness that we carry inside of ourselves that's been asleep. So right now, there's people all over the world who are waking up. You hear these terms, waking up. What does that mean? It means they're realizing that they are more than their physical bodies, that they can tap into infinite intelligence, that they have a spark of God, that they were made in the image of God. So we have all of those abilities have been given to us. But it's really up to us to pull the veil down. So we've been living in what some call a world that's been an illusion. But what I'm realizing, that as each day moves forward, that the illusion was just that it was all inside of me. And once you really realize that you have the power inside of you, and I know that that may not make sense right now, but that is why I wanted to start doing these videos, so I can start putting it in to another explanation that may help others understand what some of these terms mean when they hear it. What does it mean when they say, we are all one? We are all one. And when you really understand that, what I mean by understanding it, not with your head, we have to understand it with our heart. Every cell in our body is a being. It's a light being, and it's got its own consciousness. When you understand something and you know it is truth, you don't just hear it, you feel it in your entire body, and you know it as truth for you. And what's true for someone else may not be true for me. That doesn't mean that it doesn't serve them. And it doesn't mean that what I'm telling you is the only truth. It's just my experience. So one of the reasons why I'm calling this a self-love project is, for me, this is my therapy. So I have been serving others most of my life. I went to school to become a registered nurse. I went on to become a nurse practitioner, and so it was all in service to others. I worked long hours, sometimes nights. I've pulled 3 shifts in a row, working 36 hours straight. With 36 or 26, it was a really long time. Anyway, it was 3 12-hour shifts, so whatever that comes up to, it was quite a bit. And you know, through all of that though, what I realize is that it's okay to be of service to others. Currently now, I run a pain center. I see people every single day with physical pain and emotional pain, and I can't separate the two, because I know that anyone with physical pain, there is an emotional component, there is a vibrational component to how that pain got started and why it's still there. And I know that we have the ability to release these from our emotional body. And in releasing those, we free ourselves. We free ourselves from believing that things are hopeless, that we're helpless, that we're powerless. We are so far from being powerless, but we've been led to believe from the time we're born that we don't have our own power. So as I make these videos, that's what I really want to touch base on, is what it looks like to love yourself. And actually, I'm learning more about this as I do this project. So the first couple of weeks that I started this self-love project, the only thing I did was I made sure I was mineralizing my body more. So we have a lot of frequencies that are hitting the planet right now, and our bodies are taking on more energy, more light. So as we do this, the physical body, which has been carbon-based, is moving towards a crystalline-based structure, and it needs minerals to support it. It needs us to pay attention to our bodies and what our food cravings are. Does that mean we run out and eat a lot of sugar? No, but it means we learn how to tap in to what the body's trying to tell us and why we have certain cravings. The next thing I did was I changed my schedule at work. So I am blessed that I am able to tell my staff that I'm going to lower my patient load by 5 patients a day. Now you would think that that's not a lot, but it helped me so much that by week 2, my staff was actually noticing a change in me, that I didn't seem as stressed or preoccupied. I was more myself again. And more myself is I'm generally the person who's got the happy face, who's trying to get everybody to laugh, who wants there to be a positive momentum going in the center, because there's so many people coming in who don't have that momentum. And it really helps them, it really helps to ease their day when they come in and they are accepted and heard. So after week 1 and 2, I got into week 3 and 4, and it started to get more interesting. So I knew that I wasn't moving my body, and that is really important. So I'm not saying that you have to go out and exercise every day and go to the gym and all of that, but feel within your heart, what could you do that would help your body move? There's things like Tai Chi and Qigong, there's yoga, there's just walking in nature, anything that you can do that is like a gift to yourself, that will serve your body and serve your emotional body and serve you, your consciousness, help you connect more to who you really are. So after doing that, I started doing Kundalini Yoga. And I will actually at some point put a little link, I'll figure out how to do that, put a little link in to the video that I actually use. It's got 4 parts to it. And so what I did the first week, I just did the first part. And then the second week, a couple of times I went into the second part, which is like 30 minutes. And I find when I start to get kind of sore, I back off a little bit and skip a day and do something else. I may go to the park and just walk around there, and for me, that can take the place of my yoga for that day, as long as I'm doing something for my body to support my body. And when I got into week 5 and 6, I noticed that there was still something within me that I needed to clear. And during week 5 and 6, I realized that I was still taking responsibility for other people. And what I mean by that is, being a nurse practitioner and working in a field like pain management, we really want our clients to feel better. And it's not just about the pills that are given in some of these cases, but for them to come in and to be so unhappy and so feeling so hopeless, and to leave with a little smile on their face. That's what I'm talking about. That's the kind of connection that we should be making from our heart. So I realized that I was taking too much responsibility for how they felt, and that I wasn't understanding and recognizing the God in them. And when I started realizing that I was doing this again, I had been told this in the past, and even created a physical manifestation for myself for taking on the burden that it's my responsibility to help someone else. So what in week 5 and 6, I was recognizing when I was doing this, and I was really going deeper within myself, that when I recognized it, to bring it up to the surface of my awareness and remind myself that every single person was made in the likeness of God. We have a piece of God in us. He created us so that we could experience life and have everything that He has. He's shared everything with us. And it has taken me a lifetime to come to even this much understanding about that. And even though I have yet to access some of these gifts that I know are there for me to receive, I know that I am on track. And just knowing that you're on track and that you're on a path that is not only helping your expansion, but by sharing it, you can help other people. It brings so much peace to my heart. So through week 5 and 6, I was able to transmute some things from a lifetime in Lemuria, which I'm going to talk about in another video. So some of the aspects that may come up for some of us are emotional fragments that are connected to past lifetimes. And so we will also go into some of that, so that if some of these experiences start coming up for you, you'll understand, you'll know what it is, and it's not anything to be afraid of. It's something to be celebrated, because we're not here just to recognize we are loving beings. We are here to recognize all of our parts, because in these lifetimes we have been the perpetrator, we have been the victim, we have been many different things to each other. We've played different roles to each other, and you'll know if you've connected with someone from your soul family that you've had some of these past lifetimes with, because you'll really click. And that'll be something that we will get into also. So this is week 7 for me on my journey. And in week 7, I have started my self-therapy of getting myself out there and sharing my light. With what I mean by that is that we carry a light within us that's unique. And even through our voice, the vibrations of our voice and the frequencies of our voice carry a light vibration that, whether you even understand everything that I'm saying, it's still penetrating you, it's still seeding you, and when you are ready, it will grow if that is what is in alignment with your path. So I hope that you have enjoyed my first video, and it wasn't as scary as I thought it was going to be, but I am very, very, very glad to be of service and to share my path with everyone who is willing to listen and hear. Many blessings. Namaste.